I've been cooking for quite a few years now. So many recipes have come and gone, but there are wonderful classics that are as popular as ever.
In this series, I'll show you how to cook some of the best of them in my very special way.
I'm just saving on the washing up.
From classic home comforts that will put a smile on your face,
Absolutely delicious.
to tasty, light recipes that take no time at all.
I'm going to be helping with your school dinner.
Yes!
And some favourites from the past that are making a comeback.
Whoa! How about that then? These dishes can often seem daunting, but I'm going to show you some tips and techniques that make them quick, easy and simply delicious. And most importantly, with almost no fuss.
In this programme, recipes with a touch of inspiration from the great outdoors, no matter what the weather.
All in one go.
I think we better get out of the room.
Come on.
Let's go, let's go.
Our dramatic coastline holds wonderful memories of family holidays. Especially here in beautiful North Cornwall. We stayed in farms, we B&B'd, we camped. Didn't matter what the weather was like, we lived every moment. And the best thing about here is the sea. There's so much that comes from the sea that we can enjoy. Later, I've got some great recipes that will make the most of that seafood. But it's not all about cooking fish. I've got some other wonderful ideas, like my version of a Spanish favourite, perfect for a picnic. A mouth-watering way to make a barbecue really special. And a beautiful creamy pud with a touch of the exotic. But first, as promised, all the glorious flavours of the sea in a hearty classic.
I really love seafood in any shape or form, but bouillabaisse is the most famous French fish soup. So you can imagine the flavour is absolutely wonderful, beautifully fresh. Many people are far too frightened to tackle it and leave it to the chefs, but I've found a very good way of making it quite simply, and it tastes like the real thing. To start with, you need a good sizable pot to cook it in.
Heat some oil and add 2 chopped onions and 1 small chopped fennel.
Now, this soup has no thickening whatsoever. How it becomes the lovely consistency of bouillabaisse is making everything a puree at the end.
To start building all the flavours, you need 2 crushed cloves of garlic, a good squeeze of tomato puree, and 6 chopped tomatoes, skinned and deseeded.
Then I'm going to add some wine, 100 ml of white wine.
Pour in 750 ml of fish stock, and then the zest of an orange.
Just the finely grated zest, just so you don't get the pith underneath. That's the white part. That's a bit bitter.
Finally, I'm going to add an ingredient that I don't use very often.
Saffron is the stamen of a crocus, and it's very expensive. You don't use very much, and it gives a wonderful flavour and colour. So you'll notice that this will go a yellowy colour mixed with the red of the tomatoes. So in that goes.
Season with salt and pepper and let it simmer until the vegetables are tender, which will let me get on to cleaning the mussels.
I've got 1 kilo of mussels here, and when you get them home, make sure that they're all absolutely tight closed. And some of them may have a bit of a beard on them. Can you see that beard? Catch hold of it. This is fighting me. I've won. There it is. Now, I'm going to add this to the stock and all these vegetables. They'll cook in the steam lid on, and leave them for a few minutes till everyone has opened, and then you know that they're cooked.
It should only take about 4 minutes, so keep an eye on them.
It smells of the sea.
If you want to make it easier to eat, just take the mussels out of the shells.
And now, to bring the soup together, we've got those veggies all soft, the fennel, the onion, the tomato, the saffron's giving it that glorious colour, and I'm just going to blend it to make it beautifully smooth. That's it. Just the smell of the sea. It's absolutely lovely. Look at that beautiful, glorious soup. Now I'm going to put that back on the heat.
While that warms up, it's time for the fish. I'm using some lovely fresh cod and sea bass. Add to the soup along with the juice of half an orange.
So let's give that a stir. Don't be tempted to overcook the fish. 3 to 4 minutes is plenty.
To top off this wonderful dish, I'm sticking to tradition and serving it with a rouille. It's simple. 6 tablespoons of mayonnaise, crushed garlic and a few strands of the luxurious saffron, soaked in a little lemon juice.
And just a soupçon of salt and pepper. And just mix it until it's all smooth. So that's had its 3 or 4 minutes, that'll be done.
We're almost there. Just add the shelled mussels, some lovely fresh crayfish, and a few whole cooked mussels for effect.
Just to heat through. Now all I've got to do is to serve it.
Finish with a generous dollop of rouille and some fresh chopped basil.
That looks really exciting and colourful. A breath of French air. How delicious is that?
Cornwall's Port Isaac is one of those little seaside towns that is a fish lover's paradise. Especially because it's home to one of our most celebrated seafood chefs, the wonderful Nathan Outlaw. As well as having 2 Michelin stars, his restaurant has just been voted best in the country, and I'm hoping he's going to show me why.
This is real Cornish weather. Well, what does it matter in these gorgeous surroundings?
Yeah, I think this is what's beautiful about Cornwall. I think it doesn't always have to be sunny to enjoy it, especially the outside as well.
What brought you here?
Well, originally, I used to come a lot as a child on holiday, but I love surfing and I love cooking fish.
You surfing?
Yeah, can you believe it?
Well, you must go very far. A bit of weight on that board.
It was a very, very big surfboard, that's all I'll say. But I wanted to cook fish as well, so Rick Stein at the time was a bit of a hero. He still is a hero of mine, and I come down to cook with him. And that's it, the rest is history. That's 20 years ago.
Oh, gosh. And do you do any cooking out of doors?
I do a lot of cooking outdoors. That's actually, cooking outdoors I think is the greatest. You know, dig a hole in the sand, get yourself a grill, light it, catch some mackerel. There's nothing better, I think.
There is nothing like fresh mackerel. We used to do it in a camper van, under the grill. You take the fish straight from the sea, 3 slashes, and I just love mackerel.
I'm glad you said that, because I'm getting hungry and I've got some mackerel to cook.
Excellent. That's just what I was hoping to hear.
Who wouldn't like to be just here? Even though it's cold and windy, I can think of nowhere else I'd like to be at this very moment. Come on, tell me.
Right, so this is mackerel with a beetroot and apple salad with pickled walnuts. I hope you like it, because it's for you. I've created it for you.
Lovely. So what would you like me to do?
If you could peel one of the apples for me, that'd be great.
Right, I'm on the apples while Nathan finely slices the banana shallots. He's also adding some fresh beetroot. But I've spotted one of my favourite ingredients. I'd sooner have a pickled walnut than a chocolate. I think they're absolutely delicious, don't you?
Well, there's plenty there. Go for it. I might have one as well.
I think it's one of the unsung things to cook with. I love it. It's slightly sweet, it's vinegary, and it adds to a lot of sort of meat and fish things.
Yeah.
Just brings out the flavour.
That's why I thought it'd be perfect with this salad.
Well, I've left you a few. Come on.
Thank you, yeah. You eat them like sweets.
Yeah, lovely.
I just love a lot of old-fashioned recipes, and I really love British food. That's what I
like
do,
to hear. Apples, beetroot, shallots, pickled walnuts are all in. Now for some fresh green chives.
And then if you don't mind putting a little bit of seasoning, because I've heard that you're really good at seasoning.
Well, I like it seasoned, and I like sea salt.
The last couple of ingredients, this lovely creamed horseradish. I really, really love creamed horseradish.
Now, I take it that's hot.
Yeah, it's quite hot. And then just to sort of balance it all out, I've got some natural yoghurt and just a couple of spoonfuls of that as well.
And that better be full fat.
Of course.
We need full fat. It's good. You get the flavour
You don't
more.
get a body like this eating low fat.
Exactly. It's like a very exciting coleslaw with new ingredients.
Yep, that's right.
I can't wait to try it. Good thing the barbecue is hot enough to get that mackerel on. And also, it's very nice to stand here on this very windy day. A good tip is to make sure the fish is patted dry before going onto the hot grill. Otherwise, it will stick.
I reckon this little fella here will take about 6 or 7 minutes. This one will probably take about 8 or 9 minutes.
And actually, the smell is fresh fish coming out.
Amazing, isn't it? It's the best, it's the best. And I don't mind the flame. I think a little bit of flame gives it a bit of flavour. As long as you've got skin on the fish, and this goes for any fish, it'll protect the actual flesh.
Right. Just look at that. Isn't that tempting? And you can see that it's cooking. It's changing from being translucent to a sort of flat white, isn't it?
I think that's sort of the bubbling skin, the lovely caramelisation of it. I just think it's beautiful.
I'm sort of ready with my plate.
Yeah. Let's take this one off. You got it?
Just in time. I think we're about to get soaked. I'm not noticing the rain. I'm just looking at that. It looks so tempting. There you have it. Mackerel with an apple, beetroot and pickled walnut salad. Who could resist? Look at that. So colourful. All in one go. It's got crunch. It's got flavour. It's piquant. And it's going really well with that fish.
I think we better get out a little bit of rain.
Come on.
Let's go, let's go.
When the rain stops, I'll cook Nathan one of my favourite barbecue recipes. While we wait, I'll show you a perfect picnic dish that's so easy to rustle up. You could even eat it under an umbrella. I just love all that rustic outdoor cooking. And nothing could be more rustic than a Spanish tortilla. Perfect for a picnic. A classic Spanish tortilla is made from just eggs, potatoes and onions, but not mine. Before everyone starts to write me letters or emails, I'm adding red peppers, and I promise you it's very easy to make at home. First of all, I'm going to cook the onion, and I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan. Unlike an omelette, which of course you cook with butter, a tortilla you cook with olive oil. Just turn that in the oil to start with. Then do it on a very low heat with the lid on. The red pepper is my twist on this classic. Controversial, but I love it. And after all these years cooking, I think I might be allowed. Then the potato, just one large potato is enough for 2 people, which I've peeled, and then cut it into slices. And you can always peel a potato ahead and just keep it in water. To be even cheekier, I'm going to add some parsley to it. Its freshness and colour just brings the dish alive. So we're all organised. I think that'll be done now. Those onions smell delicious, and they're ready for the potatoes and red pepper.
that's got to go on for 15 or 20 minutes on a very low heat with the lid on so we create steam, and that is until the potato, you just put a knife in and it's done.
Time for the main ingredient. 4 eggs will make a generous tortilla for 2.
So that's the egg beaten, just so the egg runs through the fork. Now, let's see how the potato's doing. Oh, it's a lovely sizzle as you open it. Goes in like butter. And the pepper too, that's fine.
Season with salt and pepper, then mix the vegetables into the egg so they're perfectly coated before putting them back into the pan.
Just level that off, and then a little bit of parsley on top. I love the colour, the bright green and the red.
The tortilla will only need a few minutes until the egg is just set in the middle, and I can then turn it over to finish it.
So I'm going to put a plate on top, flip it over, full of confidence. Whoops, and it hasn't gone on the floor. How about that then? That's not too bad.
Now just back in the pan to make sure it's set all the way through.
That's just only going to take a few moments to just seal underneath because it was almost done. But I want the parsley on the top, so I'm going to flip it over. A wing and a prayer. You see why I wanted it that way up? The parsley looks really good. So that's perfect for a picnic, or you could just have it outside, cut into squares, hand it round to everybody, drink in the right hand. What could be better?
At last the sun is making itself known. It's my turn to cook for Nathan. I know he loves his fish, but I have the ideal barbecue recipe if he fancies something a little more meaty.
I've got something to show you, and I promise you I wouldn't dare cook for you, and it would be fish. I've got some poussin, so perhaps if you can help me a bit.
Yeah, sure.
First of all, let's make the marinade.
Okay, yep. You want me to
so
do that?
I've got 4 ingredients for that, and that is rosemary, garlic, honey, and salt. So just take the leaves off those.
All right, yeah. I can do that
chop
for you.
them.
I'll be your commis chef today.
Oh, yeah. It's really making my day having you as my commis chef. May I give you a knife, sir?
Oh, thank you very much.
That's right.
While Nathan gets on with that, I'm going to mix 2 tablespoons of honey with 2 more of olive oil.
And I'm going to put a good amount of pepper and salt.
In goes the rosemary.
There you go.
I might say it's beautifully chopped.
I'll try.
And now all we need is the garlic.
Now, when you do garlic, how do you do it? I mean, I do it just either grating it or through a press. What do you do?
I usually crush it with the side of the knife.
But there's a bit of pressure going down
there
there.
is,
for
there
you.
is.
I mean, if
There
I
is.
did that, it wouldn't squash it. Go on, do it then.
So you just crush it like that?
You've done that before, haven't you?
A few times, yeah.
Perfect.
And a little bit of salt.
Yes, I can remember in France, some early holidays, old men in the market crushing garlic with salt and putting it on bread and
Yeah.
eating it like that.
Yeah, no, I've worked with a French chef, but he did the same thing for breakfast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Garlic and salt
Yeah.
on crusty bread. It's not my idea of a
It
breakfast.
smelled lovely.
Yeah.
Is that enough for you?
Perfect. And in here. Now that's a really good marinade.
What makes this dish foolproof is the classic way of flattening out the poussin or spatchcocking it so that it can be cooked evenly on the barbecue. Simply cut out the backbone with a pair of kitchen scissors.
And then the other side. That's it. And then I just get my flat on my hand.
Yeah.
And you do just the same. And you do about...
Probably crush it if I did it.
I mean, I think you would.
That's quite, yeah.
Just press that down.
That's it, it's good.
And there it is, spatchcocked and all ready.
Simple.
So I've got a bag here.
Pour that delicious rosemary, honey and garlic marinade all over it.
And then you massage that in.
That can sit there while I wash my hands and get on with the final bits. A tasty garlicky aioli. Do you ever make aioli in your restaurant?
I do, but I'm looking at the ingredients here, and you're doing it very different, so I'm intrigued to see how you're going to do it.
Well, let me do it my way, and then
Yep.
you can tell me whether you like it or not. I'm starting in the traditional way. Lots of garlic for my commis chef to chop. Should we have 3 just to make it really garlicky?
Emotional.
Emotional, come on. And then I'm going to take some mayo, 6 spoons of that. And do you know what I do at home? I do it round the bowl. And if I get interrupted in the middle, I know how far I've got.
These little tips are really great. I mean, they're all the things I'm picking up from you.
Come on.
I wouldn't know. Honestly, I would have put 6 spoons in there. I'd have gone away because someone had called me away to taste something. I'll come back and I would have forgotten I had to start again.
Well, I've been in the business a bit longer than you, and so you pick up these things on the way around.
It's like a
and I
school
bet
day for me.
You do it naturally. Were you cooking at school?
I was, yeah. I loved cooking at school. It's my favourite subject. I think it was a combination of that and all the girls were in that class.
Let's have a confession. Did you actually take it in your exam?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so did I. It was the only one I got, but don't tell my children.
I think I only got a GCSE grade C, I think, which isn't that great, really.
Yeah.
But
Well, I don't think mine was any better, but we've done all right, haven't we?
yeah. Yeah.
That's the garlic in. What's different about my aioli is I add 1 to 2 tablespoons of creme fraiche and chopped parsley. They're my little twist, and I promise you it's delicious. And then to bring out the flavour, some lemon.
Just half?
Yep. And an ingredient that you might not have added is just a dash of sugar, like that.
All right.
Sea salt going in, and a little pepper. And that's it. Now you taste it, because you're an expert. Come on. You're on a tasting panel now.
I'm not judging Mary Berry.
Now, honest, come on. Do I need
That's really good.
bit more lemon?
I think no, I don't. I think it's got enough lemon in it. And garlic, I can taste the garlic.
I bet you wouldn't have put that pinch of sugar in.
I think the sugar's brought everything alive.
Well, you're top of the class now, so that's good.
As soon as they hit the bars, you get a lovely smell
Exactly.
straight away.
A barbecue is one of my favourite ways to cook in the great outdoors. And what better than having a Michelin star chef to man the fire?
I think when you're cooking something like this on the barbecue, it's going to take a bit of time, so the best thing you can do is have a drink.
OK, what about it then? Oh, you can just smell that fragrant rosemary marinade. Look at that gorgeous conker-coloured skin.
As a kid, I was a bit naughty, and when I saw the roast chicken on the side or anything that had lovely crispy skin, I'd pick it off when my mum wasn't looking. It'd all be gone. So what do you think, Mary? Are you ready?
I think those look perfect.
Beautiful.
Do you know, this is so tender.
And that marinade gives it so much flavour.
I don't quite know why it is, but everything tastes so much better out of doors,
Oh,
doesn't
definitely, yeah.
it? And we've been through wind, rain, and now we've got sunshine. It's perfection.
So good.
It's lovely. Well, the good weather seems to be holding out. So I think it's time for something sweet and summery. Italian panna cotta is one of my all-time favourite foods. Rich, creamy and decadent, and it must have a bit of a wobble. And I'm going to show you how to achieve the perfect one. To get just the right wobble, panna cotta needs to be set perfectly. I've got 6 leaves of gelatin. Now, it does come in different sizes, so I weighed it, and it is 11 grams. I've got cold water here, and you soak it until it's soft. While you wait, pour 600 ml of single cream into a pan. Right down to the last drop. That's it. And then 300 ml of double pouring cream and 75 grams of caster sugar. So I'm going to heat that until it's hand hot. I mean, when you put your finger in, you can't keep it in. So I'm going to turn that on. Then I'm just going to keep an eye on it. Don't leave it. Doorbell rings, stay with this. Now, I cannot hold it anymore. Turn it off and over to the gelatin.
Now that's become all soft and squidgy. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like frog spawn. I have memories of frog spawn when I was small. We've got a pond and I love collecting it in jam jars with the grandchildren. There it is.
Give it a quick squeeze and drop it into the hand-hot cream along with a tablespoonful of vanilla extract.
Give that a stir.
When the gelatin has dissolved, the mix is ready to pour into the moulds. You'll need 6 lightly oiled, and I've learned from experience that it's so much easier to fill them from a jug. These go into the fridge for 6 hours. I usually do it overnight.
Mission achieved, not a drip on the side. My panna cotta is set, and when I turn them out, I'm going to add an exotic addition.
I finely diced some fresh pineapple and stem ginger.
That just gives us a little bit of poke, a little bit of something to give it a lift.
Add 6 tablespoons of the ginger syrup from the jar.
Look at it, delicious.
To turn out the panna cottas, dip them into a bowl of hot water.
As hot as you can get your hand in.
Mind your fingers.
Hold it for a few moments. Can you see there, look? If you just, it's moving round on its own. So I'm going to put the plate on top of that and then over like that. Now, it may not come straight out because it might have an airlock, so just push it like that, then it'll plop down. There it is. Now, do you remember what I said about the wobble? Look at it. That is perfect.
The crowning glory is the topping of juicy pineapple and fiery ginger.
You can't keep me off it. Ready, steady, go. Look, it's so shiny. It just melts in the mouth. It's absolutely scrumptious. Sorry, there's not quite enough for you.
It's just my luck that as the weather's brightened, I have to leave glorious Cornwall. But it wouldn't be a day in the great outdoors without one last seaside treat.
Good ice cream. Finish the day.
Is this Cornish ice cream?
Oh, yeah. If you come to Cornwall, you're only going to get Cornish stuff, I'm afraid.
It's good. Absolutely delicious. Next time, some favourites from the past that are making a great comeback.
Whoa! How about that then?